Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games, back with another cool arcade game repair video for you this evening. We have been working on this Nintendo Red Tint Cocktail versus Dual System arcade game. If you haven't seen this, it played basically some of the Nintendo titles from the mid-'80s, and it had a game on each side. So we've been working on this. If you haven't seen the other videos, go check it out. But this thing's pretty cool. So in the first video, we basically put it all together and kind of tested it out and figured out what was screwed up. In the second video, we fixed the monitors. We are up to this third video because the board doesn't work right. So I'll show you what it's doing. On these games, there should be a title on each side. So on this side, we have Excitebike, right? And it is working. Everything is cool. Kind of. The buttons and switches need a little work, but... right? But on this side, we're supposed to have Super Mario Brothers. And we do not. It's not the monitor. If you take the signal from the other side and put it on this side, you have Excitebike on this side. So it has nothing to do with the monitor. And we got this monitor looking really good with the signal on it. Everything is cool. But the board, just no matter which monitor you plug into that signal from that one side, will not play Super Mario Brothers. So we have got to figure out why that is. If the board's messed up, if the wiring's messed up, what is the deal? What is the thing? So we're thinking it might be a ROM problem, but let me pop it open and I'll show you what the board looks like inside of it. Okay, so the board mounts down on the side over here, and it has two distinct sides to it. So one side controls one monitor, and one side controls the other monitor and the controls. And there are two harnesses on the top. Everything's plugged in right. Nothing looks cut. Even if there was like a video wire cut, then you would still get most of the video on the monitor. So I don't think it's a wiring problem. I mean, the wiring is pretty simple. It comes here to this edge connector. So we are going to pull the board out and check out some stuff, and we'll talk about how these things work. But let me pull the PCB out, and we'll inspect it. Okay, so we are here with Matt. Matt doesn't know anything about these, but he knows all about all kinds of other stuff. So he's good to have just chime in.
Sure.
And he doesn't completely know about these because he wasn't around whenever these were going on. You were probably still just a little glint in your father's eye, Matt.
What year did this come out?
84? 85? Yeah, 84.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you saw how this thing's set up. This board was in all of the Nintendo Versus games. Okay, Matt?
All right.
I'm explaining this to Matt as we go along, and he can chime in from a engineer's perspective. Okay, so this board was in all of the Nintendo Versus games. Now, some of the Versus games only had one monitor. So, like, it would be just a cabinet that was just Super Mario Brothers. So what board was in that one?
Well, you said this one was
this same board. Yep, that's right. Okay. And then some of the games were like a kit where you could take a Pac-Man and turn it into a Nintendo Versus game.
Right.
What board was in that one, Matt?
I'm going to guess that one as well.
This same exact board, okay? And some of them were in a Nintendo kit, so you could turn like a Donkey Kong into one. Some of them were in like a Universal kit where you could turn any cabinet into one. But the way I'm mentioning them separate like that is because they had different kits depending on what you were going to put it in. So, for instance, if you were putting it in a Donkey Kong, they actually sent you the metal control panel that goes in a damn Donkey Kong. It would just bolt right on. If you put it in a Pac-Man, they actually sent you a Pac-Man size control panel that just bolted right on the cabinet, sent you the control panel and everything. They wanted you to definitely turn all of them into these,
right? So
that they could sell you the kits, or the packs, they call it, the Versus packs. So there was also a big old stand-up one with two monitors. It's a full-size upright one with two monitors on it. That was a dedicated machine from Nintendo that this board went in. And then there was also this Red Tint Cocktail one. Nintendo, you know, they've always made like really they will go way out on a damn limb to make something that they're not even going to sell that many of. I don't know if I've ever seen a company willing to do that so much.
And they over-engineer things too.
Yeah,
in a good way.
Yeah. So like the they do it with their home systems too. Like the Pocket, the Game Boy Advance Pocket was kind of just for the hell of it.
The micro.
The micro, yeah. The micro was kind of just for the hell of it. And they do that all the time, but anyway, so even back then they did that. So there was a whole bunch of different versions of this, but they all use the exact same board. So the board has two sides. This is one game, and this is the other game. So if you put it in a machine with two monitors, and the edge connectors are the same too. So like if you plug it into an upright one, it will just play one of the games, and it'll use the same connections. You wouldn't think that they'd be able to get it like that, but they really thought it out. So you got one side here and one side here. So we have the Excitebike side working, but the Super Mario Brothers side does not work.
Even though it says Hogan's Alley.
Even though it says Hogan's Alley. So damn. Let me get a drink. Diet Pepsi. Feel much better now. All right, so there's one game here, one game here. This side is working, this side is not, because we've got Excitebike up and running. Now, if you look, it's kind of just a mini Nintendo. Let me turn it around so you can see the part numbers. It's an RP2A03, which is, I believe, a 6502.
Yes.
Kind of remnant. And then this is Nintendo's famous PPU. One of those is in a NES, right? PPU?
Yes, I think it was a different version though, wasn't it?
Yeah. See how this says RP2C0040001? RP2C040001. So those can be different. Now this one over here is the exact same one. There were different versions of that. So whenever you bought, and so then there are 6 ROM chips that can be changed, right? So whenever you bought this board, you bought a Versus pack. I think they call it a Versus pack. And so it came with the ROMs that you needed and the PPU that you needed. So as a security precaution, what they did was they made several different PPUs. And you know how they did the security? They just changed the freaking colors. So if you put the wrong PPU in...
Oh, red and green would be swapped?
Yeah. Well, or whatever. It'll be even worse than that. It doesn't swap the colors. The PPU creates the colors.
That's right, yeah. The 16 color whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so instead of the background being black... Now it's pink.
Yeah.
And instead of the background being blue and Mario, it's orange. And instead of Mario being red and blue and pink, he's white and yellow and green. Like he's all screwed up.
Right.
So the game will actually run, but the palette's all screwed up. That's the only security precaution they put on it. But it won't run if you don't have the PPU. So my whole point is, they released like 30 different games for it or something like that. But you had to buy the damn thing to get the ROMs and the PPU. And back then a lot of these operators didn't even know how to burn new ROMs. And they didn't have the code.
I say the equipment was expensive then.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But what people have figured out once we got into home game territory is that the PPUs, all of them will run all the games with just the wrong colors. So you can mod the damn ROMs.
You're right.
And fix the palette.
Find, search, and replace the colors, yeah.
Yep. So that's what they've done. All right. So my whole point is these PPUs that have like a certain name on them, they're no longer being used for that game. So someone has burnt new ROMs that will let this PPU play Excitebike, and someone has burnt new ROMs that will let this PPU play. It looked like to me Super Mario Brothers, because that's what the art is on the thing. Except that one doesn't come up. So it could be that the code is wrong, one of these chips isn't right, and it could be that the PPU's bad, or this side of the board's bad, or that the CPU is bad. So we're going to have to mess around with it a little bit. Now, the only thing that's strange to me is, if you watch back on the first video, whenever we plugged it up, I had the wiring that is supposed to be running this it came up and was very faintly playing the Excitebike music, I thought, but maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I got that screwed up. So it could be that would be a ROM problem if that's going on. Maybe they've got half the ROMs are wrong or something. I don't know. But I think what I might do is try to find this ROM set, and then we'll compare it to these chips and see if they seem to have the right code on them. So we want Super Mario Brothers that will work with a Hogan's Alley 0001 PPU. So I'm going to go online and see if I can find them. Now, when you bought the official one, of course, they don't make these anymore, so that's why people are resorting to this. But whenever you bought the official Versus kit or the Versus pack, it would also have a lot of artwork. So it has a little square piece of art that goes on the tabletop, like we've got out there. The red tent, like we've got out there. It's got a little instruction card that you would put inside the. I think it was for like dip switch settings that you would put inside the game. It came with a large marquee that you would put on the upright games. It came with a piece of glass that was I think it was a piece of plexiglass that would fit on the full size ones, and that the marquee was a sticker, so you would actually stick it on the piece of glass to put in the game. It also came with a piece of glass that was kind of like shaped like a trapezoid that fits on that upright dual Versus system that had the two side-by-side monitors. Since they're angled a little bit, the glass at the top is not square. And so it came with a piece of glass, and you would literally stick the sticker on the piece of glass. And it came with a little box that had the chips in it and the PPU in it. Some of these games, for some of the titles, were actually on a daughter board. So they made a little. You would take this and this out, and then put a daughter board in, and then it would have different stuff going on it. So. Is what it is, but I'm gonna go get our EEPROM. What's that? What's the one called that you've got, Matt? I've got the same one.
Oh,
the burner.
Like TLS 8266 or something.
Yeah, TLS 866 or something like that. I'm gonna go grab that sucker, and then I'm gonna scour the internet for the Super Mario Versus Super Mario ROMs that work with this PPU, and then we're gonna check them and see if they're all right. Because if it was playing the damn song from Excitebike, something must be up, right? And I'm almost positive that's what was going on. So let me go see what we can get into. So I have reviewed the footage. I had this damn thing in the cabinet. And this side was only hooked up because there was only one monitor in there. And it was just this side. Okay? And it played the freaking Excitebike theme song. You could barely hear it. I'm going to play you that footage right now. Just to remind you of what I heard. Yeah, I'm going to play it for you again. Let me put you down here near the speaker. Turn it off and back on. So I even double checked. It was only this side, and only this side's audio and video was hooked up. You can see it in the thing. But I think what's going on is we were just hearing interference, because remember, this side would have booted up too. It just was sending unamplified audio down its line, which was just hanging in the cabinet. So I'm thinking that there was some interference, and since this side wasn't getting a signal, it was getting a little bit of audio and playing. You could barely hear it through the speaker. That's my thing.
Crosstalk. That's what it's called.
Matt says that's called crosstalk. So that's probably what was going on. But looky what I found. So I went online and I downloaded the hacked ROMs. There is a gentleman on KLOV, the Killer List of Video Games, on the forum, Mr. 2600, who apparently is a big Atari fan.
Sounds like.
We think is the original dude that did this. So thank you, Mr. 2600. So somebody had been using his files apparently. And apparently whenever these are the palette swap, the only two ROMs that need to change are these two. So these 4 are just the Versus ROM that's in the main ROM set. So this one is the Versus ROM, checks fine. This one and this one are the hacked Super Mario ROMs, checks fine. And then I get to this one, and these are all 2764s, right? I get to this one. I have my handy dandy little XG Pro version 8.30 open. I have the file loaded, and whenever we test this sucker, oh, what's that? The chip's burnt all to hell. So it's failing like our pin detect error, which usually means that the chip is like screwed. So I think we've got a bad ROM. I think. Am I doing this wrong? I just verified every other ROM with it. I think the ROM's bad, so I'm gonna burn a new one, and hopefully that'll fix it. That would be so cool, man. That would also be the cheapest way to fix it, because I won't have to buy a PPU or a CPU. The damn leg's bent over. That's gonna be the whole problem right there, people. One leg bent over on one chip, and it tore up the whole freaking board, or made it not work. It didn't hurt anything. So I'm gonna carefully straighten this leg back, and then we'll try to recheck it again. And by the way, I found my chip extractor, whoever sent this to me. Thank you out there to you people that sent me my chip lifter. It's a Weehaw from Germany. It's also known as a bent screwdriver. It's just basically a screwdriver that's bent, and you do this. See, look. See the leverage action there? Tons of leverage. This is only the type of thing that can be from Germany. The Germans are very concerned about doing things the right way. And look at this. That damn thing works perfect. I got to give it to them. I love it. All right, it's verifying now. Verify result successful. So I'm going to check the last two chips, and then we'll slide it back in, and that will probably fix it. Number 2. Matt is my witness. This one was also screwed up. Look at that. That's definitely going to fix it. And also, Matt says that I'm full of crap, that there's no way that it was playing the Excitebike song, because Nintendo ROMs don't work like that.
I mean, it's my experience.
That's his experience. So have you ever worked on a Nintendo Versus board, Matt?
Not a Nintendo.
Your experience. Okay. Yeah. But you're educated, right?
Yeah.
You know what education will get you?
Smart ass comment from Ronnie.
Yeah, it'll teach you how to spell experience.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we slid the board back in. By the way, people, I am not anti-education. It was just a joke, okay? Don't get upset. Are you upset, man? I don't care if you're upset. I actually have 2 college degrees myself. I don't use them, but I have 2. Does an associate's degree count? I mean, it's a degree.
Yeah, I'd say it counts.
I got an associate's and a bachelor's degree. I mean, education's good. All right, we're going to try it now. I hear Excitebike. So Excitebike is still up. We have not ruined that yet. Do we have Mario yet? Da-dun, 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 da-dun. How's that song end? It ends when he bites somebody, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Am I going to get a copyright strike for imitating the Jaws theme song? I mean, I sounded just like it.
You're probably fine.
Okay. Damn, but then I said the name.
Yeah.
That probably made it worse. Now their algorithm, whenever it hears that and it says, I think that's the Jaws theme song, and then I say Jaws theme song 3 times.
Yes. And then copyrighted too. Don't forget.
Yeah, and I said copyright and am I and strike me. I basically said, am I, please strike me. All right, that looks like Mario Brothers to me, people. Fixed it. Damn. So far, the only thing wrong with it was 2 of the EEPROMs had the leg bent over.
The same pin.
The same pin, too. Somebody's real bad about that last one. That one there, it was like this. All right, well, I guess we're up and running. Oh, test it out. Go ahead, Matt.
All right.
Test it out. Now you're Mario. He's over here. On the Versus games, I'll bet the buttons aren't right. Oh, there you go. You just had to hit them good. Might have to work on the buttons a little bit.
What were you gonna say about the Versus then?
On the Versus games, the first player's on the right and the second player's on the left. I'll do a whole other video playing this one in Excitebike. You died. Yeah. All right. Well, we got that part fixed. Pretty cool. So the thing is up and running. It just needs a little more help. He jumped whenever he started. It needs a little help with the switches and stuff. So I guess maybe we'll do that next. Okay, folks. So it's the next day. Joey has assured me he fixed it. He messed with it for hours, he said. He took the control panels off. Joe, what'd you fix on it?
It was the buttons.
It was the buttons, he said. So he fixed the buttons. Let's see here. Started a one player. So you get to play on this side. Let's see here. Boy, it does look. Oh, look, and now he can run. But you know what I'll bet he didn't fix? We're going to leave that one running. I bet he didn't fix over here where the up and down wasn't working on this one. I bet he didn't even check. So the first player plays on the right. Remember, it would go up, but it wouldn't go down. So the A's working, the B's working. It'll go up. Oh man, he did fix it. I overheated. All right, so it's up and running. You know what that means? It's down to cosmetics now. Did Mike say he was going to do the cosmetics there? So like the coin things?
He's doing all that.
Okay. So like the coin bezels, you know, that's just a mechanical thing, you know, where you just screw them in with a screwdriver. And he's got all that stuff. We don't even have all the screws to hold the thing together. But that's because he's moving it like that, so he just had some issues that we have got going for him. Pretty cool. It's got like a tinted thing on the monitor. Makes them both look a little bit darker, but I guess you can turn up the brightness if you wanted to. So there you go, folks. The only thing with the board was a couple EPROMs. Look, a couple legs bent over. But we got it. We got it. And the only thing with the switches was usually on these buttons, what'll happen is on a Nintendo the switches will get bent, and you have to go back in and bend them back up so that they make proper contact. Oh, we didn't try Luigi. Oh, he's running. That's good. The B is run, of course. So there you go. Give us a thumbs up for taking the trouble to film it for you while we worked through it. Wasn't much to it this time, but we'll do another video of us actually playing it and playing both games if you are interested in what Versus Super Mario Brothers is like and what Versus Excitebike is like. They're a little bit different than the home versions, but we'll check that out next time. So leave your comments below. Make sure to subscribe to us if you haven't already. And thank you to everybody who has been using our Amazon links. If you don't know about that, there's a link to Amazon down below. And if you click it, it will take you to Amazon. And if you're going to buy anything on Amazon, you can, even if it's not something that we link you to, if you click our link first, it gives us a little royalty for sending you there. So we appreciate everybody that's been doing that. And also, if you don't know, check out our brother channel, my brother Donnie. We've been working on some stuff over there, checking out. He usually works on like old cars, old trucks. He's got some stuff on the farm that he's been messing with. He was welding something on the front of his tractor the other day. And then we're also doing some old buildings that we're repairing and things like that. I'm usually over there with him, so go check that out if you haven't already. And once again, leave your comments below. We will see you on the next video. Hope you enjoyed it.